Well, hello again, everybody. Earlier today, I posted a video about maybe exploring some different ideas of videos to put on the channel. I made that video yesterday, but I wasn't able to post it till today. I had to prep it for upload, make the thumbnail, whatever, so it's up today. So far, I haven't gotten any comments on it, but it has gotten 2 likes, so I figured, alright, since we already posted that video explaining what I might want to do, I figured why don't we actually try doing something like that and see how well or not it's received, right? So I did mention being a movie fan, right? So for this video in particular, I felt like discussing one of my 3 favorite horror series of all time, and by horror series, I specifically mean a horror movie series, just for clarification, right? Now, for this video in particular, I want to focus on the Final Destination series. So here we are on Wikipedia, right? So let's bring up Final Destination real quick. Oh yeah, first, spoiler alert. I will leave this in the description and the pinned comment. I will be going over all 5 films currently released in the franchise. This includes cast, crew, the plot details, all stuff like that. So obviously, if you have not seen any or all of these 5 movies, I advise you to stop watching the video right now because I will be going over a bunch of plot details and other things. So you've been warned. So I want to point that out right now. So let's bring up Final Destination right here. Yeah, American Horror Franchise. Here we go. By the way, Wikipedia is always a great source for information, in case you're always wondering. Now, yes, the first Final Destination came out in 2000, right? Let me just look that up real quick. Yeah, the first film came out in 2000. I remember seeing the trailer for that at some point. I don't need that, thank you. I'm not sure when. That must have been when I saw a movie and I just saw the trailer play before it. I honestly didn't really know what to make of it exactly. It was kind of like wild, the concept. But I was intrigued by it, just wasn't sure if it was like really a good thing or not. Nevertheless, I did pay the money to see it in theaters when it came out, and like wow, it was such an original concept. I couldn't help but be impressed by it. Obviously, yes, the films are pretty campy, and more or less people just watch them now to see the you know exaggerated way people are set up to die in these horrific manners. I mean, yeah, sure, you're not supposed to take any of it seriously, but the original concept, that death has a design for everybody, and that it doesn't matter if you cheat death or not, because death will just come back and kill you in the end anyway, right? Because you were meant to die in that circumstance. If you avoid death, well, death's not satisfied, and you can't cheat death, so death will come back to kill you one way or the other. So I thought it was a very interesting concept, at least with the first film, because instead of it being like a Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, or anyone else, like a physical thing killing you, or like a group of things, like a zombie, like any Romero-style zombie outbreak, no, it's death itself that's killing you, and it's not really like a physical manifestation of death. It's the concept of death, which I thought was very interesting, right? So for this video, we're going to go into some of the like concepts and ideas behind it. No, I'm not sure if this is widely known, but the idea of the first film, about a plane exploding and someone getting off the plane before it exploded, that wasn't meant to be a movie. As you can see here, it was a script idea for a plot for the X Files. Now, yes, unless you're a very old person like I am, you're probably not going to be familiar with the X Files in any sense. But yeah, the X Files was a series. How long did that run for? It ran for 11 seasons, right? 218. Goddamn. Does it have? Okay, so when did it? Okay, so it aired from 1993 to 2016 originally. 2002 original series, then the revival went from 2016 to 2018. So it's been around for quite a while. So yeah, I never actually got into that show because basically when I was in the 90s, I was pretty young, and that kind of stuff just didn't really interest me. Also, when I did try to watch it at some point, I just thought it was too complex for me to understand. Because yeah, it was like very supernatural sort of thing, with the vampires and whatever, some other things. So I couldn't really get into it because I couldn't understand it. Now, as far as the cast goes, I don't think many people will even be familiar with the cast. Basically, it's centered around 2 federal agents, Mulder and Scully. I believe, yeah, they're played by. See, I don't know. Is that Gillian Anderson or Gillian Anderson? I feel bad for not knowing how to pronounce her name. And obviously, the other one was played by David Duchovny, right? Now, I don't think many people nowadays really know who these people are, because they're not been very relevant, to say the very least. I mean, their big breaks probably were from the X Files show. As far as I gotta say Gillian Anderson, because again, I feel bad if I'm mispronouncing her name. As far as a movie I've seen Gillian in, the only thing that comes to mind is something called Closure. Let me see if I can bring that up. Film, television, where's the movie? I know that she was in a movie called Closure. I don't know why I'm not seeing it though. I'm pretty sure it was called Closure. I'm not wrong, right? Unless it was called something else. Hold on, let's go back to this. Go back to Gillian here. Go bring up her credits. If I could bring up her acting credits, that'd be great. Let's see. Okay, here we go. See, these are all the movies she'd been in. I can't really recall ever seeing any of these things. But I know she was in something in the 2000s called Closure. It has to be that, right? I don't know why I'm not seeing it, though. I'm not going crazy, right? I'm pretty sure I saw her on the cover of a movie called Closure. Jeez. Okay, sorry for getting off track here. Let's go to IMDb real quick. I want to see if I'm crazy or not, because I don't think I am. No, I was right. Okay, I don't know why I didn't see this over there. 2007? What? Okay, so I guess it's called Straight Heads. It's an alternate title. That's why I couldn't find it. Right. Yes, yeah, so what I was talking about. Yeah, pretty sore subject matter, regarding it right here, so I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, it's the only movie I'm aware of that she ever starred in. As for the Coveney, let's see. He's been here and there, but most of the things I've seen him in, you probably wouldn't be familiar with either way. If I want to bring that up real quick. Like Evolution. No, Disambiguation, film, television. Where, was this it? Yeah. That came out in 2001. Yeah, Dave Duchovny also had Orlando Jones, Sean William Scott, Julianne Moore, and Ted Levine, Buffalo Bill himself, right? It was a very goofy kind of thing dealing with an alien invasion. It didn't really make that much attention. And honestly, I didn't feel it was really that good, for that matter. Another thing I saw him in was, Playing God. Stevie, oh my god, I cannot get through one video about her. This come out in 97? Yes, this thing, a thriller with, Dave Duchovny. Was it also Timothy? Yeah, Timothy Hutton was in that as well. So yeah, how many of you actually seen these movies before I mentioned them? Yeah, point proven, pretty much, right? So not surprising if you've never heard of his movie role. So anyway, back to X-Files. Yeah, it's just something I never could get into. Obviously, it was very popular. It was on Fox for a very long time. But that being said, the script for the plane blowing up and someone like having a dream that would happen and then getting off the plane, that was originally scripted as an idea for an X-Files episode. I think actually the episode itself was going to deal with Fox Mulder's brother, played with David Duchovny, right? But yeah, it eventually turned to its own film idea for a full movie, right? And then that itself spawned the whole franchise. That's where it came from, right? Now, as far as the original premise of the plane, I know there were a lot of comparisons to, yeah, it was based on the Fateful Flight of TWA Flight 800. Yeah, so they're not even denying that at that point. Now, if you're not familiar with TWA Flight 800, it happened. When did this happen? Yeah, 1996. Damn. See, as someone who lives in New York, I was alive, and I think I remember this happening. It was a pretty much insane sort of thing that happened. But unfortunately, it did happen, and they sort of did base the film off of this. Like, some might argue, yeah, it's inappropriate to base like a horror franchise that you're charging people money for as a form of entertainment based off of this actual event where everyone died. Did you see how many people did die during this? Yeah, 230. Every single person on the plane died. It's just insane. It really is. But anyway, that's where the basis for the plot came from, right? And the similarities are pretty like extensive too, because both planes were, let's see, nonstop flights from New York to Paris, right? Both of them were the explosions were blamed on a fuel explosion, I believe, right? Both of them did explode during takeoff, killing everyone on board, and both planes, I believe, did have a high school French class on board. Although I think the class from in real life was from the middle of the country and not so much New York, but whatever. You get what I'm saying, right? So as for who directed the first film, it was James Wong who directed it. Now, if you never heard James Wong, that's not surprising either. He's mostly known for his script writing. Yeah, he was mostly a script writer, but as far as a director, he's only made 4 films, by the way, as far as I know. Let's see, yeah. He did Final Destination, right? The very first one. And he also did The One. I did see this also in theaters, but again, if you never heard this movie, I'm not surprised either way. Because it is more like a martial arts thing that Jet Li was in. Yeah, not very popular, by the way. It was kind of a stupid thing where he's a regular guy and he's destined to fight a copy of himself to save the world. Very stupid idea. Yeah, negative critical reviews. Oh yeah, I could sympathize with that. Very stupid idea, by the way. I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be honest, but he did direct that. What? Okay, so I just had to take my dog for a second. I know you can't see that because I'm not using my webcam, but yeah, she is here right now. She's sitting on the bed, and hopefully she'll be quiet. The third thing he did direct was Final Destination 3. But yeah, believe it or not, he did come back for the third film. And he also did Dragon Ball Evolution, but again, the less said about that, the better. I heard this was one of the worst movies ever made, in addition to being one of the worst adaptations of anything ever made. Let's see. Negative reviews, okay. Performed poorly, 9.4 against 56.5 million. Oh, worldwide total against a budget of 30 million. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I never got into Dragon Ball, so I'm not even going to comment on how well this film stood to the script. But yeah, based on the reviews, yeah, horrible, horrible. So anyway, yeah, that's all that James Wan ever did as far as movies go. But interestingly enough, yeah, as you can see here for the director tab, he did not only directed the first and third film. The second and fourth films, believe it or not, were made by the same person called David R. Ellis. Now, if you've never heard of him either, that's not very surprising as well, because he was more or less like a C grade movie director. Here's wondering why you never even heard of him anymore. It's because he actually died. Yeah, he died in 2013 in South Africa at age 60. I don't think many people even know about that. Yeah, they found him dead in a hotel room or something, but they didn't really determine his cause of death. They just said it was pretty much natural. Kind of weird, right? But as far as other things David R. Ellis directed, he has a bit more of a larger resume than James Wan, but nothing too impressive. Let's see if I can find off of memory. Homeward Bound 2. Yeah, Boston, San Francisco. I believe this was his directing debut, right? Yeah, directed by David R. Ellis. I never saw this movie. I saw the first one, Yeah, the one where they're in the wilderness, right? These 3 animals that can speak to each other. Jeez. Yeah, this was pretty old. When did 1993? Goddamn. Pretty depressing thing, but no, it is what it is. He did not direct this one, though. No, according to this, someone named Dwayne Dunham directed it. So okay, so Ellis directed the sequel. Gotcha. I'm trying to think what else did Ellis direct. I know he did Snakes on a Plane. On a Plane. Yep, he did this. David R. Ellis, right there, as you can see, he directed that in 2006. Another thing he directed was Asylum. I only know of this movie. I never actually saw it, but I know he directed it. Let's see. Yep, 2008. David R. Ellis, right there. Interestingly enough, one of the only other non-horror things he did aside from Homeward Bound was Cellular. This actually was pretty decent, believe it or not, even though kind of like a little outlandish, the plot. Yeah, 2004. Yep, David R. Ellis. This was not a horror movie, by the way. It's more like a thriller suspense sort of thing. So it's worth checking out if you're interested in that type of stuff. But also, I think the only other movie Ellis directed was Shark Night. This was actually the last thing he did, I believe. Shark Night. Yeah, 2011, yeah. Yeah, this was very stupid, by the way. I did actually watch this. Not even worth bringing up. Yeah, Ellis's final film before his death, so there you go. Let's go back to the actual thing here. Yeah. The fifth film, Stephen Quayle. Yeah, I have heard of him. I believe he only did this and Into the Storm, right? Yeah, Into the Storm. I did see this as well. It's sort of like a storm chaser movie, sort of in the vein of like Twister, but kind of more goofier. Not very good for that matter. Just kind of like campy as well. Not even worth bringing up. But those are among the only 2 things he redirected that have gotten a lot of attention. Yeah, obviously, Aliens of Deep. That was a documentary, right? Yeah, part by James Cameron. Da, da, da. I don't know what Renegades. Renegades? Franco-German action thriller. I never even heard that. Apparently, it's doing something called Alphas, whatever that is. Okay, good to know. Well, it's worth knowing there is a 6th film that has been announced. According to this, it has directors, but I don't think anyone's been attached to the cast-wise. 'Cause I've been waiting a very long time for them to continue this franchise, because again, the series has been pretty dormant for a very long time. 2011 was the last movie. At the time of this recording is 2023. God damn. So it's been at least 12 years about a movie. Wow. What's interesting about the sixth film is that it's sort of rumored, yeah, that it will feature, some instead of dealing with this traditional formula of the other films, they said it's going to focus more on like emergency workers, like police, fire, EMT. That definitely gives them like more of a wide avenue to make stuff up with. Maybe they like conflicted about saving someone or not saving someone. They're haunted by it, so that opens the door for a lot more scenarios, which I think is very interesting. Also, they pretty much said it before, like people involved in the crew saying, like, yeah, this is not going to be the traditional like formula. There's going to be more stuff to add to, which I'm very happy about because at the moment, dealing with the five films in general, they all pretty much held on to the same sort of formula, which I do feel by the time the sixth film does come out, which by the way is announced, by the way, this is an official thing. They do have to switch up things drastically, and that's what I have to say in the matter, right? So that's pretty much the crew involved. I want to talk about the cast now. Now, going to the first film, the cast was not very noticeable, dare I say. Because obviously, since it focused more on the high school students, most of the people who played the high school students were not very noteworthy, even nowadays. Because obviously, the main character is Alex Browning, played by Devon Sawa. Now, if you've never heard of Devon Sawa, again, I'm not surprised. He's never really made such a huge splash in Hollywood, even though I have known of him for many years. Interestingly enough, he started out as a child star, believe it or not. So, two things I know he started as a child star were something called Wild America. Yes, a Metro comedy film with Devon Sawa. There he is, right there. Okay, 1997. I never actually saw this movie. I just saw the cover art and saw he was on it. I don't know what it's about. And another thing I did see him in that was more kid oriented was Little Giants. Which again, I'm pretty sure most people don't even know about either. Because Rick Moranis, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Spaceballs, Dark Helmet, Ghostbusters guy, he was in this. Worth knowing, he pretty much retired from the film industry after his wife died. So I can respect that. So he hasn't really been very popular. Of course, he's mostly retired. Obviously, Ed O'Neill is a bit more relevant as well. Modern Family, Married with Children, so on and so forth. He was in this, right, Devon Sawa? Let's see. Yeah, Devon Sawa. He played. Yeah, he was one of the football kids, right? As far as anything other Devon Sawa, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I can think of some other things. Extreme Ops, I believe he was in. Extreme Ops. Yeah, kind of a stupid movie about a bunch of snowboarders who fight terrorists or something. But yeah, here he is right there, Devon Sawa right there. I never saw this movie either. It was kind of stupid, to be honest. But yeah, he was in that. So another thing was Idle Hands. Very weird movie, like a mixture of horror and comedy. Also, the title, No Idle Hands, something with the Bible, does the devil's work or something. Very crazy premise about his hand being possessed, going around killing people is pretty wild. Yes, he does play the main character in that, by the way. Yeah, very outlandish concept, but I have seen weirder, so it does sort of work, I guess. But he was in that, by the way, so worth knowing that. Another thing I think I saw him in was Creature of Darkness. Does this even come up? Okay, so I had to bring up his profile first. Let's see, Creature of Darkness. Does it even come up? I don't know why I'm not seeing. I don't know why I'm not seeing him here, but jeez. Okay, let's just go back to IMDb. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm going a little off track, but I want to be thorough when I do these types of videos. So let's go back to IMDb. Creature of Dark. Yeah, there it is, 2009, with the weird planet in the cover art. Yeah, this thing. I never saw this either, but he was in it. As you can see right there, he is in it, so there's that as well. Going back to, trying to think anything else I'm aware of that. Oh yeah, Slackers, obviously Slackers. This is sort of like a crude, what's the best way to see it? Oh, come on. Decambituation. Yeah, this thing. Kind of like a crude college sort of comedy. Again, this did not get a lot of attention either, but it's worth noting this is the very first R-rated movie I'm pretty sure I was able to see in theaters. Because at that time, you pretty much had to be 17 to go into a R-rated movie on your own. And I did turn 17 by 2002, right? Yes, because when I was 16 in 2001. Cause I know I was 16 when September 11th happened. That obviously happened in 2001. So yes, this was the very first R-rated movie I'm pretty sure I was able to see in theaters because I was legally old enough to. Overall, again, not very special, kind of just not very well written or even funny, but he was in it. I want to point that out. One other thing I can recall him being in, but I don't know the name of, is some. Oh, jeez. It was some sort of it was like a mystery movie with Tom Arnold, like a murder mystery sort of thing. See if I can find it real quick. I know Tom Arnold isn't really very relevant nowadays either. Aside from True Lies and that cameo in Austin Powers, what has he been really known for? Let's see. Actor. It was some sort of like weird one word thing. Jeez, why can't I think of the name of it? Jeez. Came out a while back. Let's see if we can find it. Not seeing it. I know I can't find it. Jeez. Okay, let's go do Plan B. Tom Arnold and Devon Sawa movie. Endure, that was the name of it. Okay, yeah, they did star in this movie called Endure. I don't know anything about either. I've never seen it, but according to this, it's not very well received, according to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. But he was in that as well. Okay. Okay, let's go back to this nation. So obviously, yeah, Devon Sawa was the main character. Now he is essentially the one who has the premonition, right? Ali Lauder, I'd say, is a bit more well known. I've seen her in several other things, including let's see, House on Haunted Hill. No, not that. The remake, 1999 movie. Yeah. There she was, Ali Lauder, House on Haunted Hill. I did see this as well. I didn't really think too much of it. I just didn't like it that much. Another thing is Varsity Blues film. Let's see, cast. I'm pretty sure she wasn't. Yeah, there he is. Ali Lauder, right there. Obsessed was another thing she was in. You can find that. No, not that one. The American movie. Why can't I find it? Yeah, this one. Yeah, she was in that as well. Sort of like she plays like a crazed stalker going against a guy who's married, played by Idris Elba. I guess you could think of it like a lesser toned down version of Fatal Attraction, but still not very good for the most part. It's kind of just blah. Anything else Ali Lauder has been? Oh yeah, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'm pretty sure she was in that as well. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'm pretty sure she was in that. Let's see. Yep, there she is, right there. Right there, okay. Is that the only things I could think of that she was in? Yeah, I think so. Off the top of my head, anyway. I think she's still relevant nowadays, but yeah, just, this is probably the first thing I ever saw her in. Because I didn't see House on Haunted Hill until much later. Honestly, Keir Smith, I don't think most people would know him either. Because he hasn't been very popular as well. Was he on Dawson's Creek? Again, I never really watched his show, but I think he had like a recurring role on this, if memory serves. Let's see if we can find the cast. Yes, he was there. Keir Smith as Jack McPhee. Season 3 of 6, recurring season 2. Okay. Oh, that's right. I did hear about that. He was sort of like the gay character on that show. Yeah, I think I heard about that. So anyway, yeah, he was on that. As far as movies Keir Smith has been, not too many. The Forsaken is one of them. Yeah, it's about vampires. As you can see, yes, he's listed right there. Another thing is My Bloody Valentine. Let's see. Bloody Valentine. The remake, by the way. Is this the remake? Yeah, I think so. Yep, Keir Smith, there he is right there. He played the main character, the sheriff. And one more thing I saw him in was Pressure. Okay, Disambiguation, because it's a very obscure thing. When did it come out? 2002? Yes, this thing, yes. He was in that. In case you're wondering, one reason I know about this movie is because it was directed by Richard Gale. The guy who did what's it called? The horribly. Yes, this thing. Yeah, short film by Richard Gale. If you're a YouTuber or a fan of YouTube, you probably see this short film. He did direct this, and he also directed the movie Pressure, in case you're wondering. So yeah. Aside from that, I don't really know anything else Keir Smith has been in, so that's probably why most people who like react to this movie for the first time have no idea who he is. And by the way, this movie is fairly popular among the React crowd here. Although, yeah, surprisingly enough, a lot of people only watch the first film and nothing after that. Like Step Screen, who I subscribe to, he only watched the first film. Cinebinge, who I am subscribed to, did the first three, but Auto Cruel here only did the first one. Yeah, so it's sort of like hit or miss with their reactors. Some they tend to watch the first film but not follow through with the others, which is kind of upsetting. But it's not like you really have to watch all of them because they're not really totally directly related to each other. But it still is sort of upsetting that people don't commit to the whole thing, at least in my mind. But anyway, yeah. Also worth knowing, Tony Todd was in this movie as well. He sort of plays like the weird uh funeral guy. And another thing is that when people react to this movie, the first film, when they see him, so like they never really notice that he's the Candyman. But yeah, by the way, I mean that quite literally. He was the original. Let's see, 90s. Yes, he was the original Candyman back in the 1992 film. Yes, I believe he also starred in the sequels. He did the 1985 movie. He did the 1999 movie, and I believe he did the remake as well, that came on 2000s. Simply called Candyman, right? Does that come up? Well, I know they did a remake, and I heard it was like widely hated because it wasn't even that scary. It was pretty much dealt with a bunch of racial stuff, but it's not really what the film was about. So I don't know why they went that direction. Yeah, 2021 version, right? Really, generally positive. Because I heard Melvers say that this was really bad, and it wasn't even scary. But I don't know. I haven't seen it myself, but whatever. Getting off track again. So this was pretty much what set up the series. I really thought it was very interesting, as I said, not just because of the plot, because of like the shock value. Seeing how elaborate the deaths were. Because again, when I look at horror, I don't necessarily look at it as a means to just to see a bunch of violence and gore. Even though that's what most people associate horror with. That's not what I particularly associate horror with. I mean, sure, violence and gore is fine, but overall, unless there's like a meaning to it, like a good story and a good reason for this stuff happening, I don't really care otherwise. If it's just violence for the sake of violence, then no, I'm not really going to care about it. But the way this is like done so well with the idea of death as a concept, that's what really worked for me. So I've been hooked on the series ever since seeing this. Really, I've seen negative reviews. Wow, was not even aware of that. Jeez, how much did it make though, as far as profits? I'm very curious. Okay, so 10 million on its opening weekend. Okay, 22 weekends. Jeez, $102 million internationally. Holy shit! I can't believe people didn't like the first one. I thought it was pretty decent. Wow. Excuse me. Like, really? Mission to Mars? Oh my god. If you guys never saw this, don't even bother. This is like the thing with Gary Sinise, right? Oh jeez, this was awful. I remember seeing this. This was just so stupid. Oh my god. The Martian with Matt Damon, this is not, by the way. Avoid this movie like the plague, by the way. So yes, it wasn't really surprising the way it ended that they would make a sequel. So yes, I did see the sequel in theaters as well. Obviously, David R. Ellis did direct this. It wasn't the same person did the first one, like James Wong. Yeah, aside from Tony Todd returning as the was it the mortician or whatever his name was, it is very interesting because his name is never actually said in the movies, right? Let me see if I can find what his name is. Yeah, William Bloodworth, but his name was never actually said in the movies. It's kind of interesting. Because when I saw him in the first film, I thought he was meant to be deaf. But that's sort of like, wait, the way he grabs that thing that's sticking out of Todd's shoulder, it's like, well, if he was like an imaginary manifestation, he couldn't interact with physical objects, right? That's the way I looked at it. And sure enough, in the second film, when what's her name, AJ Cook, I forgot what character, yeah, Kimberly grabs him by the shoulder. Like, yeah, if he was not a real thing, like a real person, she couldn't be able to grab him, right? So that pretty much threw like the like ruined my theory that he was like just a manifestation. No, he's an actual real person who's just very familiar with death for whatever reason. Okay, so yeah, this one obviously went on from the plane like premonition to like a car accident, a very bad car accident by the way on the highway that involves multiple vehicles. I'm not sure if that was really based off of a real life event though. I don't think it was. Maybe, but you think about it, though, a lot of like pileups do happen on the highway, so they could have essentially based this off of anything. But yeah, the crash in the movie is pretty bad. Not gonna lie about that. As for people in this movie, hmm, trying to think. Well, obviously, Ali Larter returned as Claire. By the way, her name is Clear, not Claire, by the way. So in case you're wondering, anyone else I really remember from this? Well, actually, AJ Cook played the premonition character. I don't know anything else she has ever been in. Criminal Minds, Virgin Suit. No, I never even saw any of those things. And Michael Lance was the police officer, but I don't think I've seen him anything else or even know anything else he's been in. Yeah, a lot of TV stuff right there. As far as films go, yeah, I'd never heard of any of these things. Damn, no wonder I never heard of him outside of this. The only person I can remember knowing about in this cast right here, aside from those people, is Jonathan Cherry, but not for good reason. If you've never heard of Jonathan Cherry, it's not that surprising as well. Of course, what I know him from is not even worth mentioning. House of the Dead. Yeah, I can't believe I'm actually giving credence to this stupid movie. Yes, remember Uwe Boll, like who does like the worst movies ever made based off of video games? Yeah, this was his debut, right? Yeah, negative reputation. That's putting it quite lightly. Jeez, this was so stupid. Oh my god. But yeah, worth knowing. Jonathan Cherry did play the main character. Yeah, main character right there. Oh my god, this was where to begin with how bad this is. Oh my god, it's like not even so bad it's good, like so bad it makes you want to facepalm and bleach your eyes out. That's how bad this was. And I saw this garbage in theaters, by the way. Oh my god. One of my biggest regrets as far as paying money to see a movie in theaters. Yeah, but Jonathan Cherry was in that. Another thing I remember him being in was They. You can find it. Was it 2002? Yeah, Wes Craven's They. He wasn't that as well. I'm pretty sure he was in. Let's see. Cast. I could have sworn I saw him in this. Oh yeah, there he is. Jonathan Cherry is Darren. Okay, so yeah. I never saw this either. I just know of it, and I saw his name on it. 16.1 million consent. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Okay, so. So yeah, I did like this. I don't know if I'd like the second film more or less than the first one, because it's definitely a different tone, considering someone else directed it, and only like two people from the first film came back. I know there was a lot of discussion considering Alex Browning, Devon Sawa's character, technically survived the first film, but in between the first film and the second film, he was killed off by a falling brick. Which a lot of people who react to the second film think, like, geez, that's how they took him out? How pitiful. Now, there was a lot of discussion that there was a contract dispute between him and New Line Cinema, where they didn't disclose the details, but they said that a deal could not be reached, which is why they killed off his character. But then I read something else recently that says no, that's not true, and that he was never meant to be in the sequel. Let's see if we can find that article, maybe. Okay, so let's see if I can bring in some fandom. Foundation for two. Okay, it doesn't actually say. Oh, it is worth knowing. They did make a different ending for the first one that ended a lot more happier. But James Wong showed that to a test audience, believe it or not, and people said, like, no, this kind of like lovey-dovey thing at the end does not fit well with the rest of the film, which is why they went in a different direction. It's very interesting, though, because when he meets up with Claire at the beach, they actually have sex there. Then he dies grabbing the wire, right? But in doing this, though, it saves. She gives birth to his child because she got pregnant from that. So she ends up living with her child alongside of Carter, played by Keir Smith. But yeah, a lot of people did not like that, so that's why they didn't go with that ending. Tobey Maguire. No, that would not have been a good. Okay, let's see. It's rumored that Devon Sawa declined to return on payment issues. Producers have stated the decision to kill off his character was a narrative decision. So there you go. So I don't know what the actual truth is because obviously I wasn't involved in the casting or the production. But I have heard Devon Sawa himself said that he would like to return to the franchise, even though it's not really possible. So that makes me feel if it was not a contract dispute, because otherwise, why would he be so willing to work with the franchise again if he was cheated out of reprising his role, right? So that's why I'm sort of feeling that it wasn't a contract dispute. So I mean, make of that what you will, but he was not in the sequel. I just want to point that out as well. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure many of you know how the second film ended. Like the quote-unquote survivors, AJ Cook and Michael Lance end up surviving. Their fates are sort of left ambiguous, but there was a plan to like finish off their characters in the third film, which I will go into right now. So yes, this one did bring back James Wan as a director, which got me very excited as well. Also, considering it dealt with an amusement park accident, was like very relatable considering how many people die in amusement park accidents. Because compared to the other things, like yeah, car accidents happen a lot, but not at the scale that was featured in the second film. And obviously, a plane exploding can happen, but it's exceedingly rare compared to amusement park accidents. So, as far as the premonitions in all five films go, this definitely felt the most relatable to me. Not that I'm a thrill seeker anyway, I don't go on roller coasters, but the idea of it malfunctioning and killing people, yeah, that's happened many times before. So it is very like the most relatable of the premonitions, at least according to me, right? So yeah, they went with a whole new cast again, because Claire's died. Tony Todd does not appear in it, but he does do a voiceover as the Devil's Flight narrator, which I don't think many people even realize when they watch it. Yeah, he does do "You Will Never Escape from Devil's Flight." That was his voice, by the way, in case you're wondering. So as far as the main character for this movie goes, it was Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Now, she's a lot more relevant than most people think, even though this was the first movie I ever saw her in. Wow. To go over the amount of films I'm aware of that she was in, let's start. Sky High is one of the earlier ones I saw. I mean, not that I actually saw this. Was this, No, not that one. Kurt Russell? Yeah, the Kurt Russell film. I never saw this, by the way, because this type of kids movies do not interest me, but as you can see, yeah, she's listed right there in the cast. I mean, more often than not, she tends to do like supporting roles, but the amount of things I've seen her in supporting roles are quite shocking. Everyone's Bobby. Let's see, movies, yeah. And this movie did not make a lot of attention either, because it just didn't get that much attention. Yeah, it does deal with sort of like the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy at the Ambassador Hotel. But when I saw this movie, it did sort of subvert my expectations, because it has hardly anything to do with Kennedy, and more or less just focuses on these random people in the hotel at the time. And then it just ends with him being shot in the kitchen. So, kind of like a weird thing to sort of advertise as a biopic when it barely deals with the guy you're covering. But yeah, pretty sure she was the waitress in this movie. Yeah, she was the waitress. Yeah, there she goes. Okay. There one was Death Proof. If I could just type that, would work out well. Death Proof. Another thing I don't think people know about, even though Quentin Tarantino directed it, and yeah, obviously he's a very legendary film director, also writer, producer, actor. He did this as part of the Grindhouse project with his, Robert Rodriguez, who he's collaborated with many times as well. Because he did a movie called Planet Terror, which is sort of like the sub movie to this thing. It was meant as a double feature. I don't think a lot of people have seen Death Proof, and in my honest opinion, it was kind of like the slowest movie he's ever done as far as pacing. Not that it's not nutty like Quentin Tarantino is known to do, but the pacing was just so not very fast paced. But anyway, yeah. She played the cheerleader Lee, I believe her name was. Yeah, Lee, with some of your Star Friends. Yeah, she was the cheerleader in that. Very small role, not important, but she was in that. Let's see, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, I don't even know why they made this movie. Yeah, I heard this was actually very widely negatively received. Criticism in the screenplay, yeah. The thing is, it's a horror movie where Abraham Lincoln, the president, he's not only just a president, he kills vampires in this, like, off camera or something. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea for a movie, but they did it. And the guy who did it was the same person who did Wanted, I believe. Yeah, Wanted back in 2008. That was a great movie. This one I'm not so sure about, but I never actually saw it. Yeah, believe it or not, Mary Elizabeth Winstead played Mary Todd Lincoln. Oh my God, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? But yeah, she was in that, by the way. It's worth noting. I'm trying to think anything else. Oh yeah, Black Christmas. Actually, I'm not talking about the original film. This was actually made by Bob Clark, who was the guy behind A Christmas Story. Believe it or not, did this movie as well. But no, I'm not talking about the original 1974 movie. I am talking about. Let's bring this up again. The 2006 movie, which I don't know why, but they made it, remade it again in 2019. They did not need to remake this movie again. Why the fuck did they do that? Worth even knowing, this movie was not even rated R. It was PG-13. What were they thinking? Jeez. But going back to the 2006 version, right? Yeah, this was directed by Glenn Morgan, who, if you were paying attention to my previous screens, he actually served as a producer for many of the other Final Destination movies, right? As a director, he only did Willard before this, this thing about the guy with the rats. And I think that's it as far as movies go that he directed. But he's mostly known as a producer, by the way. So yeah, he did produce some of the Final Destination movies, and he did the Black Christmas remake. As far as this movie goes, I actually didn't mind this. But that being said, I never saw the original, so I can't really compare if it was better or faithful or whatnot. But either way, Mary Elizabeth Winstead was one of the sorority girls. Alongside Michelle Trachtenberg, believe it or not, from Adventures of Pete and Pete. Also worth knowing, Kristen Cloak played a role in this as well. She played Val Luton from the first Final Destination. Interesting, right? I'm trying to think anything else I can recall Mary Elizabeth Winstead being in. I'm trying to think. No, nothing else comes to mind at the moment. I'm sure she's been in other things. It's also worth knowing she's actually romantically involved with Ewan McGregor. So yeah, I didn't even know that recently until I saw like an article that showed them together at something. But the more you know, right? The more you know. Damn. I mean, good for her, right? I mean, Ewan McGregor seems like a great guy. She seems very talented as well. Seems like a good combination as far as couples go. As far as the male lead for Final Destination 3, it was Ryan Merriman. Yeah, I don't think most people know him either. Jeez, what have I seen him in? Oh jeez, I can't believe I'm bringing this up. Remember this awful fucking thing, like the last thing in the chronological Halloween franchise before it was rebooted by John Carpenter? Why they made this movie, I have no fucking idea. It's meant as a direct sequel to H2O. I don't know why they made this. There was no reason for this to be made, but yeah, Ryan Merriman was in this. Yeah, there he is, Ryan Merriman. This was like one of the worst attempts to continue on a franchise, especially something as legendary as Halloween. Why they went along with this, I have no fucking idea. Yeah, also worth knowing, Busta Rhymes was in it. I remember that. Yeah, Busta Rhymes was in a horror movie, Halloween. It's even weirder having Thomas Ian Nicholas in it. The guy from American Pie. Yeah, jeez, he was in that as well. Jeez, crying out loud. But yeah, Ryan Merriman was in that. If yeah, he was in a high school movie. I don't know the name of it, but Haley Joel Osment was in it as well. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, fine. I spelled his name wrong. Jeez. Was it Home of the Giants? That was it. That was it. Yeah, some high school movie he starred in. Yeah, Haley Joel Osment, Ryan Merriman. I never saw this either, but I just know they starred in it together. So there you go. All right. Anyone else really famous that was in this movie? I can't really think so. Let's see. I'll go for the cast. No, not really. Although worth knowing, I know Texas Battle. I don't think people know him either. He was in Wrong Turn 2. Let me bring that up real quick. Wrong Turn. Get out of here. Wrong Turn 2. I did see the first one. It actually wasn't that bad with Eliza Dushku and Desmond Harrington. But then they just milked the series to death. I don't know why they kept making movie after movie after movie. But yeah, he was the main character in this, in case you're wondering. I saw the second one. It was okay, but the fact they kept milking this whole series to death. How many wrong turns have there been? 7 films? Oh my god, give it a fucking rest, people. Jeez. 7 films? No, stop. Also, I really like this movie, not just because of the relatability in the disaster, but also like the extreme nature of the violence. Because yeah, a lot of the deaths in this movie were very over the top and very gruesome, which I would say is sort of tied with the gruesomeness of the fifth film in terms of like actual gratuity, gory aspects. But I would say the first film was probably the least violent compared to all five of them. So the fact they really amped up the violence for the third one, again, not that I really care about visually violence, but it just made it felt more natural, considering the more realistic situation regarding the theme park thing. No, actually, the nail gun death involving Aaron, whoever played Aaron. Yeah, by this character, and then when she gets killed by the nail gun, yeah, geez, that was so, oh my god, brutal. In case you're wondering about what I said about the characters from Final Destination 2, I think there was plans to, yeah, I think there was a plan, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can bring this up real quick on the fandom. Because at the end of the second film, she and Michael Lands or Officer Burke were still alive. Now there were plans to officially like close off their character arcs, but they never really did them. Yeah, the original idea I believe was that the two of them were pulled into a wood chipper. Jeez, pretty wild way to go. I think that's actually going to be showed on a newspaper article, right? Because the first film ends back in New York City on the subway, and at some point you're supposed to see this newspaper article blow like in the subway, but that was cut from the entire movie for whatever reason. Another thing, they actually are going to have both of them star in the like epilogue for number three, right? And they encounter the survivors from the third film, but apparently there was a scheduling conflict. It's not featured in Fast considered non-canonical, though Craig Perry said that the scene can be canon, right? I think there was a plan to actually put them in the third movie, but I think there was a scheduling conflict, like I said. Yeah, going to meet Wendy and Julie were in the cousins, but they was changed. Yeah, I think there was a scheduling conflict. One or two of them couldn't be in, like, appear for the movie, so they went with something else entirely. So yeah, at the moment you could consider them to still be alive, but although I honestly don't think they are, because the whole premise of each movie was pretty much, yeah, you cheat death, but death comes back anyway, no matter what. So I don't believe like Kim or Burke are still alive at this point, even though their deaths were never officially shown. But yeah, that's just my take on the matter. Sorry guys, I know I'm really going off track here, but I'll try to finish up. Now, the fourth film I definitely feel is the worst of all five of them. Even though David R. Ellis did return to direct this one, it's the highest grossing. Jeez, yeah, negative reviews, right? Jeez, I agree with that. The thing bothered me about this one, I mean, yeah, it wasn't 3D. I didn't really care about that so much, but look at the runtime. If I can bring this up. It was only 82 minutes long, way too short to really like form a good narrative. Sorry, guys, I'm choking here. I think out of all five of the films, it is the shortest one, and not just that, it didn't really do anything new to the franchise, and the things it did add were very like unfavorable. They tried to make some elements of this comedic. I remember regarding the racist guy who was one of the survivors, and essentially he's killed, tries to set a cross up on someone's lawn. Yeah, like putting the racism in this movie was really not necessary at all. Even if it's meant as characteristic of one of those characters, there was no reason to put that in there. And the fact that he blows up and his head just lands right on the porch of the guy, yeah, they tried to make it funny, but I never really thought these movies as funny per se. And trying to put a comedic spin on this stuff just felt very wrong. Aside from his character being racist, like there's obviously the guy in the hospital being racist to the doctor. Of course he was a Korean War veteran. He said like, do you know how many you people I killed in Korea or something? Even though the guy Korea says he's not Korean, but why they have to put that in the movie? Really not necessary. Because this doesn't add anything. I mean, sure, if you want to make a racial drama like Time to Kill, 12 Years a Slave, American History X. Yeah, it has more relevance, but something like a cheap horror movie where people die, it was really not necessary to put that stuff in. It just didn't add anything to it, right? But most of my big concerns with this movie were just the runtime. It was 82 minutes, not even 90 minutes long, and it just felt so rushed, everything. So, yeah, that's why I didn't really like this movie. In fact, a lot of people who do react to it or have seen it feel the same way. Like, this is definitely the worst of the 5 films released. So it is pretty amazing they actually released a fifth one, in my opinion, because the way it's... I mean, look at the way the films are named. 2, 3, and then 5. So I think the fourth film was meant to be like the closing hour of the series, but I guess since it went on such a sour note, people wanted it to go back into its former glory. They did eventually make a fifth one, which I'm glad they did, by the way. Yes, I'm pretty sure you're well aware of this by now if you have seen the fifth movie, which I'm hoping you did, because otherwise you're going to be spoiled. This is actually a prequel to the original film. It's pretty wild they did that, because nobody was expecting that. Nobody. So as I said, Stephen Quayle did direct it. Tony Todd did return. I think I read that it was actually a scheduling conflict as well that kept him from returning to the fourth film. But thankfully, he did come back here for the fifth film, being as creepy as always. As far as the main story, main cast goes, I didn't recognize anybody from this aside from David Kochner. I mean, it's spelled Koechner, but I'm pretty sure his last name is Kochner, if I had to assume. Like, the amount of things he's been in are just too much to name. I'm not going to go through them all, but let's see. Anchorman 2, Thank You for Smoking, Waiting, Still Waiting, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Like, he's mostly known for his very small roles in comedic movies, but damn, he has been in so many of them. Jeez. I've never actually seen him in a leading role as far as movies go. Let's go through his yeah. Let's see. Oh, that's right. He was the guy who said like, "Hey, Dick, what's that over there?" No, God, I mean, God, looks like a giant. Yeah, remember that stupid joke they did in Austin Powers? He was the pilot in that. One of the jet pilots. I forgot about that. Let's see. I'm not really familiar with any of these other things yet. Yeah, Anchorman, he was in that. Wow, he's actually nominated for an MTV award for that. Who would have guessed? Oh, that's right. He was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. I don't even remember him being in that, but apparently he was. Yeah, Waiting, he was the manager of Shenanigans. It's a shame this movie didn't get a lot more attention. I thought it was pretty good, but yeah, last year he was the manager of the restaurant in that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was the co-pilot in Snakes on the Plane. How did I forget about that? Jeez. Yeah, and Talladega Nights, he was just one of the supporting cast members. Didn't play that big a role in it. As I said, Thank You for Smoking. He was one of the executives. Well, Aaron Eckhart played the tobacco executive. I'm not sure what he played, but he was some sort of business executive that was sort of friendly of Aaron Eckhart. I don't remember who he was though. Let's see. He was in the Balls of Fury. I don't remember him being in that. Yeah. By the way, don't even bother watching this movie. It was very stupid. By the way, I wouldn't recommend it. Oh wow, he was in Forest of the Penguins as well. I don't remember him being in that either. Oh yeah, Semi-Pro. I guess it does make sense because that was a Will Ferrell movie, and obviously he's collaborated with Will Ferrell many times. I don't remember him being in Get Smart either. Damn. Yeah, Still Waiting. Believe it or not, that Waiting movie, it did actually make a sequel, and David Koster did reprise his role as the manager. It's sort of weird, though. I'm willing to bet most people who know about Waiting don't even know they made a sequel to it, but yeah, they certainly did. It's right there for you guys to check out. Unfortunately, though, a lot of people from the first movie didn't return. Like, most notably absent are Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris. Unfortunate, but yeah, what can you do? Maybe it was a scheduling thing, maybe they just weren't interested, I have no idea. Wait, was this the... No, okay, it's something else, right? No, it's not the first movie, okay. So as you can see, yeah, he's been in quite a lot of small roles and mostly comedic roles. Yeah, he was in Anchorman 2, I remember that. So yeah, he's been quite around for a very long time. Although, like I said, I have never seen him in a leading role, which is fine though, because a lot of people are character actors that don't like being in the spotlight. So there you go, right? So I am glad they sort of like amped up the violence like they did with the third movie with this one. Honestly, the tone is more serious, not totally serious, mind you, but at least they didn't do anything stupidly comedic like in the fourth film. Which they did say going into this, like before the film released that yes, we will take this film more seriously. It's not going to be as goofy, which I'm very glad they did. Was this in 3D? Yeah, it was in 3D because I did see this in theaters as well. God damn, like those effects, like when the Candace falls on the sailboat. Wow, you see that in 3D, and her like guts go flying towards you. It's crazy, right? Jeez, I mean, it's hard to like relate to of what you saw in 3D in theaters, but wow, I feel bad for anyone who missed out on that. God damn, especially if you're a fan of this sort of stuff. But yeah, it was very interesting that they tied us back to the original film. I know many people won't even believe me when I say this, but when they said the main character was sort of like, yeah, I think I want to take that internship to become a chef to go to France, I was sort of thinking in the back of my mind, well, that's sort of interesting because in the first film the plane was going to France as well. So does that mean anything? I actually think it would be a prequel, but by the time he gets on the plane and cuts back to Alex like being thrown off, like holy shit, I was right. I can't believe I this sort of like get a connection there, even though it wasn't a true connection. But goddamn. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much. Oh yeah, Courtney B. Vance was a federal agent then, right? Yeah, I forgot about that. Anyone else I really know? Oh yeah, whoever this guy is, PJ Byrne, he was such an irritating character in that. Oh, that's right. He was in the Wolf of Wall Street. He was the Rugrat guy. How did I forget about that? Jeez, I saw Wolf of Wall Street. That was very good. It's kind of funny because he's very irritating in The Wolf of Wall Street, and he was very irritating in Final Destination 5, so I guess the two things sort of go together, damn. Yeah, Nicky Rugrat, yeah, jeez. I guess he just can't skip that, like, sort of cliche of being an annoying character, because goddamn, him being like such a messiah, like a womanizer in Final Destination 5, oh my god, I just couldn't even stand him. I actually couldn't wait for him to die in that movie because he was so irritating, jeez. But yeah, that's where the series lasts at the moment. I'm pretty sure the sixth film, excuse me, does not have a release date yet, but apparently it is a confirmed thing to be working on. Let's see if I can bring it up. By the way, IMDb is also a very good source for movies. By the way, yeah, apparently it is an official cover art. Although I don't know why it's in Spanish. Destiny no fine. Why is that in Spanish? Come on. Yes, as I did say, they did sort of say a hint that it's going to be dealing with first responders, like police, fire, medical. So again, like I said, that makes it a very interesting concept to explore as far as death goes. Like what you could have done to save somebody, what you didn't do to save somebody, stuff like that. I don't think anyone's been attached with the cast, right? No cast has been announced yet. Apparently, it's expected to be a reboot, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. But wow, okay. I'm very looking forward to this, even though there's no release date. I imagine at the very earliest we will get this in 2024. It's probably not even gonna. Yeah, it's probably not even gonna be released this year. But whatever. I'm willing to wait for it. I think I read about the trivia. I think that the people who were hired to direct it. Yeah, can you believe this? They wanted to direct this so badly they made a short film of them being killed over like a Zoom meeting or something, and that convinced the people who were in charge of licensing the IP. Like, yeah, they were so impressed by it, they hired them because of their little short film they made just to prove their point. Damn. Well, who would have guessed? I do hope whoever these people are, Zach Lipovsky and Madden B. Stein, I do hope they do a good job of it. Based on what they said, yeah, they are passionate fans of the series. I hope they will do it justice, but we won't know yet till it actually comes out. Let's see, yeah, deviate from the standard formula, which I do feel they should do, as opposed to like doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, Wicked Games, Ready or Not, Scream 2022. Okay, good to know. So, people seem to be, with horror experience, seem to be writing the script as well. So, yeah, I know we dragged on for way too long, guys. I apologize for that, but when you deal with something like this, which has been going on for so long, like a series like this that's very iconic, I do feel I have to go into bigger detail to go over the whole thing. Otherwise, it just feels sort of half-assed. But yeah, this is one of my favorite horror series to date. Yes, I know it is campy. You're not meant to take it seriously. In the long run, maybe they will change that for the sixth film, being more emotional or something. I don't know. But I just want to share some of these things with you because it is one of my three favorite horror series, alongside Scream and Saw. I might make videos on those two things as well, two other things as well. So this is what I'm sort of talking about regarding other topics I might want to cover. Again, not because I'm really trying to excel or gain popularity doing other things, because I want to cover just something that I'm interested in, right? Because obviously, yeah, there are no Final Destination video games, and I don't really think that would work well as a video game, but there are other things I'm interested in besides gaming, and being able to make videos on, even considering I already have a channel to make videos on, it just feels like something I might as well do. Because I am enjoying doing something like this. Yeah, it's not really interactive. I'm not really controlling things on camera for you to see. I'm not using a webcam, but it still feels very interesting to me to discuss stuff like this, you know? So let me know what you think. I think I did like a decent job, even though, yeah, I did go on a bit too long as usual, but these are things I do like to discuss. I am trying to get back into movies, obviously, because I did have a sort of falling out with them, like I said in the last video. But hey, I don't think I'm going to do reactions, because like I said in that previous video, I don't really know how it's going to work well with copyright. Because I imagine if I did do like a full reaction to something like this, it would just be claimed to oblivion. But that might blow up the things like the hard boiled and like what was 44 minutes, and people were able to upload those things in full without copyright issues. I don't know what to make of that. Another thing I did notice, I found one channel in particular that does do full movie reactions, but how they get away with it when no one else seems to, I have no idea either. What was their name? Was this go? What was this the guy? Okay, I need to play them. Was this the guy I'm thinking of? I don't think it was him. Let's see if I can. No, it had to be someone else. Oh, Movie Kingdom. That was right. Movie Kingdom. Excuse me. This was the guy I'm thinking of, right? So as you can see, he has like a small following, a decent amount of videos, but if you look at the lengths of his things, he does full movie reactions. I mean, full movies without copyright issues. So I don't know how this guy gets away with it when no one else seems to. Because, yeah, look at this. Pirates of the Caribbean, 2 hours, 16 minutes. That's probably the full length of the movie, right? Okay, but apparently he. Oh. I don't really follow this guy, I just know of him. But yeah, Kill Bill, Volume 2, 2 hours, 12 minutes, right? Saw 5, 1 hour, 36 minutes. He does full movie reactions and does not get any copyright problems. So I don't understand that. If anyone has any ideas on like how you could possibly do this without running the copyright, please let me know. Because yeah, if I can do this, I probably would. But I don't know how this guy gets away with it when other people don't. I just don't get that. Is I have sort of noticed like he does sort of do like the mixed thing where the footage is sort of spliced between the screen, as you could see. Nevertheless, he still gets away with it though. And by the way, when you do a movie reaction, you're not there so people can just watch the movie like on their own, right? That's not what you do a movie reaction for. People watch a reaction to see how you react to the footage. They're not necessarily there just to look at the footage itself. So how this guy gets away with it when other people don't, I really like to know. I don't know if it is a thing I could do or not. But apparently, like again, even if his goal is not to make money off of it or anything, what does this say? So yeah, even if it doesn't make money off of it through ad revenue, he's still gaining a popularity, like a following from doing it. Which again, I don't care if I can make money off of them because I'm not monetized anyway. I can't run ads even if I want to. So I don't care if it gets copyright claimed and they put ads on it themselves. My issue is that they will just take it down because they're gonna say it doesn't qualify as transformative enough. But I don't know, guys. Let me know. Obviously, yes, I have seen so many movies in my lifetime. Anything that people would probably want me to react to, I've probably already seen, but it's just an idea I'm thinking of, right? Excuse me. Another thing I thought maybe doing was the Last of Us series. Because obviously that is gaming related. I have not seen the Last of Us series yet, but apparently a lot of people are doing them, like reactions to it, as you could see through these mini examples here. If I could do a full reaction to that as well, I don't know. I don't know if I could claim that either. And of course, this channel I am subscribed to, Nikki and Steven. I'm not even sure how long the videos are, but 42 minutes? I don't know. I'll have to see, guys. I guess in theory I could try to do a reaction, see if it does get claimed or not, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. If any strategies you could possibly think of to avoid copyright, let me know, and I'll get back to you whenever I can. So either way, I do like discussing things. It's not always just about me doing gameplay. So if this video gets well received, or if I just feel like doing more, I probably will do more. Like I said before, gaming will still be the primary focus of this channel, but maybe doing some sort of side projects that I'm just interested in, discussing things I'm interested in, I wouldn't mind doing that either. So let me know what you think, guys. I will see you soon.